Ever since I was a child, I've been obsessed with dinosaurs. I think they're probably the coolest animals that's ever lived. There are more animals that are awesome, but are they more awesome than dinosaurs? I would argue not. My name is Bradley Brassfield, and man, I love dinosaurs. Today we're going to watch a WatchMojo video. Let's see here. Okay, so WatchMojo, I have my iPad. You can't see it, but top 20 most incredible dinosaurs. And I think there's going to be some biases. I think they're going to be like velociraptors and of course, the greatest dinosaur ever is certainly going to be on there. You know his name. Her name. But there's also some familiar faces that we should all know. One of my all-time favorites, the Parasaurolophus, the Stegosaurus, or Stego as my daughter says. Brachiosaurus, of course, is one of the most infamous from the first movie, as well as others. And so we'll get into it. Let's watch WatchMojo's top 20 most incredible dinosaurs. My name is Bradley. Let's get into it.
Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the most awesome dinosaurs to ever capture our collective imagination.
I don't have YouTube Premium, so there will be ads. Let them make their money. Come on.
Number 20, Dilophosaurus. These Jurassic era...
Starting off, I would argue Dilophosaurus should be a bit higher than 20, but I'm glad it's on the list. This one's tough. The movies, I'm so glad it was in the movie, but man, they did it wrong. They did it so dirty. The Dilophosaurus, I have a couple of little figures here, little casts from fossils and things like that. The Dilophosaurus did not have the frill, right? There's no evidence of it anyway. It may have had it. There's no way we would know, right? That would not fossilize. What it did have was the crest on his head. It had two crests. One, as you can see on this video here, has a crest. And that did fossilize. That is a bone under there, or something similar to a bone. Keratin, something that fossilized anyway. Now, the one thing that I have a problem with the Dilophosaurus, other than it spitting venom or poison, which it did not. There's no evidence of that. Or the frill. The frill's fine. Have your licenses of creativity, whatever. It's the size of this animal. This animal was a gigantic, certainly the biggest of his time. Before the Allosaurus came along, the Dilophosaurus would have been the biggest, fastest, it would have been the T-Rex of its time. Certainly much smaller than T-Rex. But for Jurassic standards, pretty large. Probably, I don't know, 8 feet tall, maybe 12, 14 feet long.
Dinos possessed a very unique cranial structure with two shaped crowns on top of their heads. The Dilophosaurus was the largest land animal during its day, a predatory killer that could move swiftly and gracefully to catch its prey.
Oh, nice boy. Nice boy.
A mouthful of razor-sharp teeth proved deadly for anything caught by the Dilophosaurus. While its sturdy physical makeup provided this dinosaur with a natural defense against other animals, we truly feel bad for anything that ran afoul of this apex predator.
I guess you could argue that this is a juvenile. This one's slightly bigger when it goes against Clara. But still.
Since there were likely very few who could hope to match the Dilophosaurus during the time of its dinosaur dominance. Number 19, Nigersaurus.
Ooh.
The Nigersaurus may not possess as much name recognition as its more famous dinosaur.
So Nigersaurus from Africa, and it's kind of a cow. It's a wide mouth with rows of little bitty teeth that was just perfect for grabbing and chomping and grinding. But it would like, this is so cool. I just heard about this animal not too long ago from Clint Reptiles. If you're not watching him, watch him. But this animal would like, his teeth would fall out and just replace it every 12 days, 14 days or so. Pretty cool. I wonder what they say.
Or cousins. But don't count out the coolness of this Cretaceous era beast.
And shape of the muzzle as opening our eyes to the fact that there were dinosaurs that were in essence Mesozoic cows.
Teeth are the name of the game when it comes to the unique physical structure of the Nigersaurus, since its large skull and mouth contained over 500 of the things.
500
These teeth also naturally replaced themselves around every 2 weeks, and were tiny and dense choppers that primarily fed upon an herbaceous diet of plants and ferns.
We think about cows and animals that graze today, mammals, as the animals that naturally fulfill this
Isn't that such a cool looking
The aforementioned
animal?
head of the Nigersaurus is also surmised to have primarily hung low to the ground, in an effort, paleontologists surmise, to routinely scan the ground for food. Number 18, Compsognathus. Bigger?
Compsognathus. A pretty cool dinosaur. I do want to stop before they say any facts because I don't want to skew my thoughts just initially as I'm seeing the list. Little bitty dude. I mean, in the second movie, it gets the girl, little kid, and then it takes out whatever that cat's name is. Could 15, 20, maybe 30 Compsognathus kill a human? I mean, it's certainly possible. They make them out to be quite small. They would have been the height of a chicken, but the length probably 2 feet, maybe longer. The ones in the movies are quite small, probably 1.5 feet long. I mean, dragonflies is a good diet. Small lizards.
Doesn't always mean better when it comes to cool species of dinosaurs. The Compsognathus was a diminutive and agile animal with a name that translates roughly to pretty jaw.
Look how small it is.
Well, hello there.
Well, hello
What
there.
are you? Is it a bird or something?
Did she say, is that some kind of bird or something? Does that look like a bird to you, lady?
Young examples of the Compsognathus were often found to be roughly the size of a chicken, although adults could potentially grow a bit larger. These quick hunters were predators, feasting upon tiny lizards and similar creatures as part of their carnivorous diet.
Join Bet365 today and get $150 in bonus
Got an
bets
ad.
when you bet $5.
Okay.
Not polite to sneak up on people.
There are also a number of reconstructed Compsognathus skeletons on display in modern museums,
I mean,
showcasing
could
a
that
unique
many
distinction
take down
between the
a
dinosaur's
full-grown
gigantic
man?
reputation
I
and their
mean,
smaller
it's certainly
but no less
possible.
interesting cousins. Number 17,
Strength in numbers.
Pterosaur.
Holy,
All right,
oh
so
my
these
gosh. What? Pterosaurs are on the 20 most incredible, whatever the list was, dinosaurs? However awesome pterosaurs are, they are not dinosaurs. They were flying lizards. Had ancestors down the lineage close to dinosaurs, sure, but dinosaurs they were not. Now, I will say this. If I were to ask my mom, name a flying dinosaur, she'd say a pterodactyl, right? Pterosaur. I get it. It's in our lore. It's in our brains as a cool dinosaur, but it's not a dinosaur. Let's see what they say.
Lizards aren't actually dinos, but rather flying reptiles. However, they are cousins of dinosaurs, share a common ancestor, and have been portrayed in pop culture for almost as long as their relatives.
Flying reptiles, pterosaurs. Here on the beaches of North Africa, there are 7 different species of them.
The pteranodon certainly comes to mind, as does the dimorphodon. It's also sort of obvious as to what makes these creatures so cool, since the very idea of a flying creature just captures the imagination right from
Now,
the start.
I'll say this.
Basal pterosaurs
Beautiful.
could climb
I
certain
mean, look
trees
at
on
them.
land,
Those
while
are
pterodactyls would
fascinating.
stud out prey
Look at
with
that
both air
headgear
and
that
water
thing
during the
has.
hunt. Many examples of pterosaurs also possess attributes more similar to birds than dinosaurs, such as insulary hair and feathers.
Well,
Their bones are extremely light,
I will say
up to 90%
birds
air,
are dinosaurs.
and that makes the effort needed
The
to
avian
take
and
off
non-avian
much easier.
dinosaurs.
Number 16, Dreadnoughtus.
Ooh,
The
Dreadnoughtus.
coolness factor.
Dreadnoughtus is a titanosaur. a sauropod. That's what we call long-necked dinosaurs. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a paleontologist. I'm just a feller who loves dinosaurs. Dreadnoughtus is a cool one, though. One of the largest, other than the Titanosaur. They're the biggest of the Titans. One of the biggest of the Titans, anyway. This would not have been a Titanosaur. This would have dwarfed this guy right here. Let's see what they say about
this
Dread.
dino is evident right from its moniker, which is indicative of a giant old-school battleship.
In this
the Dreadnoughtus was thankfully a herbivore,
this
which
is
meant
the
that
ones
smaller
that had
dinosaurs
the
needn't fear this 85-plus
necks.
foot hulk descending upon them to feast.
Again,
Titanosaurs.
have your
85 feet long and weighing 40 tons.
They're among the
crazy.
largest earthbound vertebrates to ever
have
exist.
your
and the
licenses
paleontologist who
for
discovered
creativity,
them, Kenneth
sure.
Lacavera, decided upon his name to prove that the Dreadnoughtus feared nothing.
The Titanosaur's immense necks
there's no
are
evidence of
supported
that,
by
but it
an
is cool.
ultra-lightweight, air-filled skeleton.
Whoever said that meat-eating predatory dinosaurs needed to have all the fun? The Dreadnoughtus was seriously impressive. Full stop. Number 15, Pachycephalosaurus.
Oh, man. Pachycephalosaurus is one of the coolest dinosaurs, period, ever. It is in a class all its own. It shares a name likeness of the Parasaurolophus, but the Pachycephalosaurus is it's under a bit of scrutiny, sure. Jack Horner thinks that it is the same as I just went blank. I forgot how to say it. But it's thinking that that's just a juvenile version of the Stiggies. The Draco Rex as well had a very similar head, a dome. They think that largely ruled out now, but think maybe they might have butted heads like a ram. I mean, as far as I know, the skull would have been fused differently to where that more than likely is a display, a sexual display, a rival. Hey, I have a bigger head, skull, crown, therefore you're no match for me in a fight. Let's see what they say about one of the
Saurus isn't the only dinosaur out there with a cool-looking dome. Enter the Pachycephalosaurus, a multi-syllabic tongue twister with a natural defense system on its head.
The Pachycephalosaurus.
Did they have fought with them? Absolutely. Was it used to run through a wall, like in Jurassic World?
Specifically,
No.
the Pachycephalosaurus possessed a super thick skull roof that could serve as a battering ram, while also dissuading other predators from taking
That's
a
totally
big and
possible.
dangerous bite. We use the word could because many paleontologists and historians actually question whether or not this actually took place.
He flaunts his colorful headgear.
Can't let these guys get inside.
See how
me.
he's
We
saying,
have to
like,
defend our
look at
base.
my
Okay, this is
headgear,
gonna be close.
I'm
We can get
bigger,
at least 10 gold. They're getting some.
Or like, hey girl, what's up? Check out my headgear, it's red.
Trying to intimidate the
It looks
youngster.
like they're
So,
about to try to
is the
fight.
skull structure of the Pachycephalosaurus simply a cool-looking bone hat? Maybe, but either way, these plant-eating
There's not enough
bipeds are
evidence
super cool.
of that.
Number 14, Therizinosaurus.
Oh my
Was the
goodness!
Therizinosaurus a
This is
prehistoric?
awesome. Therizinosaurus. I don't have a model of it, but I was very happy in the Jurassic World movie when finally a Therizinosaur, probably 40 foot tall, 15, 20, 30, 40 feet long, probably. These long claws that would have been gigantic. Luckily for everybody, it was a plant-eating dinosaur. It was a herbivore. Was those gigantic fingers for fighting? I'm sure they were sharp. I'm sure they could have been weapons, but they were probably for grabbing stuff out of the trees. Let's see what they say.
Descendant of the man of your dreams, Freddy Krueger? It's easy to think so, thanks to those intimidating ungles, or claws on its forelimbs.
These Therizinosaurus hatched just 6 months ago.
By the way, if you haven't watched Prehistoric Planet,
Barely 3 feet long.
That's crazy.
They are
You should
only
probably
a
watch
tenth
it.
of their adult size.
John
Thankfully,
Hammond
the Therizinosaurus was a
in the
herbivore,
movies
with this unique
is the
design
brother
intended primarily
of
for
David
gathering
Attenborough,
vegetation,
who
while also
is
potentially scaring away
narrating this.
predators.
Pretty cool.
Of course, the dominant size of the
at that
Therizinosaurus
thing.
also achieved this goal, since examples
So
of these
dope.
dinosaurs could grow up to 16 feet tall and over 30 feet long.
not as tall as I thought.
Therizinosaurus.
16 foot tall, probably. I said 40. Idiot.
It's huge.
40
Nearly
foot
30
tall,
feet
like
tall
Godzilla.
and weighing 5 tons.
So, although these clawed beasts didn't prey upon other dinosaurs, no tall trees were safe from the reach of the mighty Therizinosaurus. Number 13, Baryonyx. The Baryonyx
Baryonyx. Very cool. I'm glad that's on the list. I'm not sure if it's. I would assume Dilophosaurus would be above the Baryonyx, but Baryonyx in the same clade, well, not same clade, but same general family as the Spinosaurus. Definitely a Baryonyx is the namesake of the clade Baryonychae, which is hard to say. And the Spinosaurus and the Spinosaurinae. Try to say that. This is a cool animal. A big animal. Definitely ate fish, primarily. Could it got on land, get some opportunist small dinosaur, small crocodile? Maybe, sure. But it would have... Its snout in the movie, it acts more like it's a crocodile mouth, like the Spinosaurus. It was more like a gharial, more slender, still effective. But let's see what they say about the Baryonyx.
is another example of a dinosaur, like the Therizinosaurus, with a unique claw shape on its forelimbs.
One of the best movie screams ever. That's up there
In
with
this
Jake
case,
from New
however,
Girl.
it's the noticeable extended ungual on its first finger.
Yes.
This claw could extend up to 12 inches
That is
in
a
length,
terrible
giving the Baryonyx
rendering
a distinct
of a
advantage
Baryonyx.
when it came to hooking in fish, which paleontologists believe was its
That's
primary
better.
food source. Elsewhere, the Baryonyx also hunted prey on land, sometimes attacking creatures bigger than itself, while also occasionally scavenging when food was scarce.
Recent finds have shown that this strange group lived from South America through Europe to Asia.
The crest that adorned the skull of a Baryonyx also gave it a unique, almost crocodilian appearance. Number 12, Carnotaurus. The
Ooh, Carnotaurus. Carnotaurus, one of the coolest dinosaurs ever. I have one. I didn't set it up. Whoopsie. This dude, Carnotaurus, literally translates to meat-eating bull. My dog got a hold to one of the horns, but it had 2 horns. Tiny little bitties right here. And look at that. It's one of the few dinosaurs, actually, that we do know for a fact. If you'll notice the skin prints on the side, we know we have skin prints of the Carnotaurus. Pretty awesome. This is a rad dinosaur. In Disney, they just tore it down. But Disney has a ride where a Carnotaurus chases a iguanodon, which no, but it is a very cool ride. It was my favorite ride at Disney. When you used to walk into to get into the ride, it was like a museum type looking thing. There's a couple of fossil things in there. It was actually a T-Rex skeleton with a bull head on top. So that's pretty cool. But
Carnotaurus was an adept hunter, a quick-footed dinosaur that could top speeds to 35 miles per hour.
yeah,
It's the work
his
of
legs
a
are
2-ton,
long.
12-foot tall
These little arms.
Carnotaurus, a male.
Probably.
The physical makeup of this cool-looking beast
we've all seen
featured
the
a thick head
jazz
and neck
hands.
area with equally dense horns placed on top. Some paleontologists believe that rival Carnotaurus butted heads together during combat, similar to what goats and rams do
Sure.
today.
Yeah,
These
yeah. There's
fearsome
no reason to
predators
think they
also
wouldn't.
tended to run quite large.
At last, a
thick
female
skull.
arrives.
One of the most classic scenes. Show it. Show the jazz hands.
Bigger than the male and more powerful.
Specifically, a Carnotaurus could probably reach about 26 feet in length
He fits
and
in
about
do
10
his
feet in height.
moves.
Number 11, Velociraptor.
Okay.
Dino.
I knew this. I'm surprised that Velociraptor is not higher on the list, if we're being honest. Velociraptor is not a velociraptor, as we all know. I mean, if you know anything about dinosaurs, you know that the raptors in the movies are not velociraptors. Are they raptors? Sure. In the way that the model that they would have went off of is actually an animal called a Deinonychus, roughly 5 foot tall, maybe. Equally as terrifying as the movie would portray them. Covered in feathers, of course. This is a fairly decent looking model here. This is blue from the movie. But as you can see, covered in feathers, except for this is not a velociraptor. So around the size probably of a turkey, a velociraptor, an actual velociraptor. The size of a turkey, 6 foot maybe in length, 5 foot in length. Let's see what they say.
Fans can obviously chalk up the popularity of this next entry to the Jurassic Park and Jurassic World franchises.
The villains.
Rich tender steak and melty American cheese. It brings a tear to the eye.
I don't think
but
Blue
it's
in
not
the
a
movie
tear.
had feathers, but yeah, she didn't. Yeah, this is
Both the
more of a
Velociraptor and
dromaeosaur with feathers.
Megaraptor iterations
That's cool.
have made appearances in these films, frightening and thrilling us in equal measure. The real-life size of a Velociraptor isn't nearly as big as those franchises would have you believe, however, coming in at a size closer to that of a turkey.
Time to be careful. Because velociraptors often hunt together.
Still, this doesn't mean that these quick and agile hunters couldn't stalk and kill their prey, often doing so with a sickle claw.
That's what a couldn't have done that better if I'd have tried. I had no idea I was supposed to go there. I was about to show you a Velociraptor claw. I have one. My wife bought this for me right up the road from Nashville on 65 North. There's a little dinosaur museum, dinosaur park for the kids, but they have there's a couple of real fossils in there. This happens to be a cast, but it'll show you that exact image there, right? So this is like the bone, if you will. So it would have, size of a turkey, about 4, 5, 6 foot long. If you had, thick boots and a stick, you can probably beat it off of you. But this thing is pretty big. This is the bone, of course. There would have been a sheath, a fingernail, and a sharp claw on the end of it, much like, look at the one that's on the, what a beautiful render of Velociraptor claw. Deinonychus, this is a Deinonychus claw, which, as you can see, is quite a bit larger. Again, would have had a sheath on it. Pretty cool. Around this time, not a lot of people know that they were discovered a new dinosaur. Jack Horner was on the paleontologist that Spielberg would, have around on the movies. And Spielberg thought that the scaly, snaky tongue velociraptors that were 6 foot tall were more terrifying than the actual thing, which Jack, of course, was like, hey. They had feathers, and they were about the size of a turkey. Of course, wouldn't have been very scary at all as the villain of the movie. So I think they made the right decision with going with the Deinonychus, and he thought that maybe Deinonychus was a little less cool sounding than Velociraptor. But they did discover, right around the time of the movie being made, I think 91, 92, 93, somewhere in that neighborhood, they discovered a raptor that was, in fact, as big as the ones on film. It's called the Utah raptor. They found it in Utah, of course, and would have doubled the size of this. So
that were located on their hind feet. Number 10, Brachiosaurus. Belonging to the long-necked sauropod category of dinosaurs, these tall, titanic creatures are among the most famous members of that group.
This is Brachiosaurus, a 13-meter-high sauropod that specializes in grazing on the treetops.
Compared to their fellow sauropods, Brachiosaurus have more steeply inclined necks, which, thanks to their longer forelimbs and treetop grazing habits, means they were basically the giraffes of the Jurassic period.
These adults weigh over 70 tons.
Although it's unlikely that Brachiosaurus could stand on...
Yeah, Brachiosaurus probably couldn't stand on its hind legs, just from sheer mass. Could it? Maybe. There's no way to know. But one thing that's cool about this, rather than the Titan, the Titans that we saw, like a Dreadnoughtus and Titanosaur itself and others, as you can notice, the neck is upright. We know this from the vertebrae and the shape of them, but he would have been more equipped of eating in trees, right? He's reaching up in this this image here
hind legs, as
to
we've
get
seen on
into
film.
the top of the
Their
tree, where
distinctive
the other
arched
ones were
heads and
more,
familiar posture are now a mainstay of popular fiction, making the Brachiosaurus one of the most well-known dinosaurs
even now
on this
in
list.
2025.
Number 9, Allosaurus, another of the theropods
Allosaurus,
or
one of the
bipedal and
dopest
generally
Jurassic.
carnivorous dinosaurs on this list.
This has been
the
fast,
Allosaurus was one of the
agile,
top predators of its day,
gigantic.
taking down medium-sized sauropods and other large herbivores.
Allosaurus, a 1.5-ton ambush hunter with a lethal bite.
1.5 ton.
The world had never known a
Not
predator
quite the
like
size
it.
of like a
With a
T-Rex,
name that
but
means
a little
different
bit bigger than
lizard, its body was
Dilophosaurus.
more evenly proportioned than many
This
of
is
the
a
other
classic-
large meat-eating dinosaurs.
Let me just stop it here. This, God, what a great image to stop on. This is a classic image here of two animals that were together, who did fight each other, and we have absolute facts, fossils, depicting these battles that would have taken place between a Stegosaurus and an Allosaurus. Big Al has wounds from it, and of course teeth in the Stegosaurus. Let's see what they say, man.
That means all
This
the
would have
saurs
been
were better suited to running
equivalent
at
of
high
a fight
speeds,
of a
with
T-Rex
scientists
and a
estimating that they
Triceratops.
could have reached up to 34 miles per hour.
Allosaurus, on the other hand, is a fast and
Hadrosaur
powerful
there.
ambush hunter. Faster than Camptosaurus.
Camptosaurus,
Today,
okay.
the Allosaurus is less recognizable than some of the Cretaceous period theropods, but had Jurassic Park been more period accurate, this dino could have been the signature predator terrorizing park guests. Number 8, Spinosaurus. Large and long,
Okay. I don't know what this is. Discovered in 2005. That's inaccurate at best. I mean, the Jurassic Park 3 was what, 2003? This was discovered long before this, in the 60s or so, by very fragmented skeletal remains, a couple teeth and a vertebrae here and there, enough to know that this is not a similar animal to a T-Rex or whatever. This would have been, they were in everywhere from Africa, Morocco, yeah, so very much like I said a while ago, just like the baryonyx, a
long-snouted
alligator
theropod was one of the
type
biggest predators to walk
dinosaur
on
with
land,
gigantic
maybe
saddle.
even bigger than a T-Rex. Essentially, the Spinosaurus was a huge crocodile on 2 legs.
Spinosaurus.
Again, a fish eater. Great
At
image
17 meters, the biggest killer ever to walk the earth.
there. That is so
An
ridiculous.
11-ton colossus.
The biggest
But its
killer to ever walk
resemblance
the
to those
earth.
modern reptiles is more than cosmetic.
I mean, the Carodontosaurus, the Carodontosaur, Giganotosaurus would have been much bigger than him. Outweighed him by a lot. Now, is he like longer from snout to tail? Yeah, than a T-Rex. T-Rex would have outweighed this guy almost twice as much, right? The biggest. I mean, what are we talking about?
Based on the high location of its
wait.
nostrils,
Jurassic
and
Park
fossilized
3,
stomach contents that have been discovered,
better movie than people
researchers
give
have
it
guessed
credit
that the
for.
Spinosaurus was semi-aquatic,
But one of
and
the
likely
most
specialized in
ridiculous
hunting
things that ever
water-based
happened
prey, kind of like
was
a croc.
Sarcosuchus. a giant 12-meter crocodile.
With a name derived from his
This
distinctive
scene right here
spinal
is the most
cells,
outlandish thing I would have
resemblance
ever.
to contemporary reptiles
When
is a
T-Rex had his
fascinating
hand
creature.
right
Number 7,
there on his neck,
Troodon.
would have
Sometimes
bit
the
right through it.
smartest hunter is the coolest.
Troodon.
Troodon may not look as lethal as it.
What number is this?
Resemblance to contemporary
What number is a
reptiles
Troodon?
is a fascinating creature.
It's
Number
a-
7, Troodon.
Number 7 is a Troodon. Above a Spinosaurus. I mean, cool. They're cool. They're a small raptor type animal. I mean, is it?
Sometimes the smartest hunter is the coolest.
Now they did have very large brain castles
But fossil
that would
evidence
have
suggests that
suggested they
these
were
two
very
deadly
smart,
hunters, surviving
good eyesight,
entirely on a
quick,
diet of meat.
agile.
Troodon was a small,
Smart.
possibly omnivorous theropod dinosaur notable for having the highest brain-to-size ratio among dinosaurs, leading some to conclude that it may have been the most intelligent dinosaur.
I mean,
and its large,
for that reason
forward-facing
alone, it
eyes
deserves to
may
be
have
on
had
the
something
list,
to do with
but-
its brain power, since it would have needed more intelligence to handle more visual input.
Separated from the group, this youngster has made a dangerous mistake.
I mean,
Get rid of the
I was going to say there better be 5 or 6 of those things because that
damn
thing,
red.
a hadrosaur is a big animal. A Carithomymus or whatever this is would have had no problem defending itself. But with 5 or 6
It's also
Troodon,
theorized that Troodon's big peepers allowed it to hunt nocturnally, which would have been handy, since it could be found as far north as the Arctic Circle. Despite its possible status as a genius among dinosaurs, though, scientists estimate it would have only been as smart as a modern bird. Number 6, Iguanodon. The
Ooh.
Iguanodon holds the
Iguanodon, very cool hadrosaur, known for the little spike on its thumb. It's pretty
distinction
cool.
of being one of the first dinosaurs
Walking with
ever
a dinosaur.
named.
Below him, a column of iguanodons stretches along a beach.
I think Sally
grazing the edge of a
sells
dense
seashells by
forest.
the seashore. Sally
tons of
found
dinosaur
Iguanodon on the seashore.
And although it's similar in build to other herbivore dinos, it tended to stick out for other reasons, mainly thanks to its so-called thumbs, which took the form of spikes. The spiky digits are generally thought to have acted as a form of defense or as a means to break up tough plant growth.
Most dinosaurs can only
In
crudely
defense,
slice
I mean,
food with
this
their
thing's
teeth.
big. It would
But
have given
iguanodon are the first herbivores to have back teeth that can grind up vegetation before
a
swallowing.
larger
What's
theropod
more,
problem.
specimens of the iguanodon
You know?
have been found on nearly every continent, so it can claim to be one of the
thing
most
was
thoroughly
sharp,
studied
I mean,
species as
imagine-
well. Number 5, Ankylosaurus. While many
Ankylosaurus.
plant-eating dinosaurs relied
It
on
really
their physical
bothers me when
size
people
or
say
strength in
Ankylosaurus.
numbers to protect
It's
them. The
Ankylosaurus.
Ankylosaurus's approach to self-defense was far more memorable.
One dinosaur that specializes in defense is the extraordinary Ankylosaurus. They are evolved to
They're
withstand
awesome.
attack
Little
even
tanks.
from giant
This is
predators
another
like
dinosaur that we
Tyrannosaurus.
have.
Ankylosaurus was an
Actual
herbivore with some of the most
skin,
impressive natural
fossil.
defenses ever developed.
There's a picture
An equal parts
online,
dinosaur and modern-day
if you
tank,
go look
with
at
a
it,
body covered in bony armored
It
plates,
looks just like
a heavy
this. They
horned
have-
skull.
you
and
see
a
how
thick
this is
club
more
at the end of its
updated
tail.
look.
Ankylosaurus could ward off attacks from many a massive predator.
That ball would have been very effective. T-Rex would have had quite a problem.
And given that it was alive during the late Cretaceous period, it would have faced some of the most notorious dinosaurs to ever walk this earth.
Yep.
Number 4, Stegosaurus.
Ooh.
Slow in speed and in brain power, Stegosaurus may not have been the brightest guy around, but his characteristic spinal plate and spiked tail have made this lumbering herbivore one of the most recognizable dinosaurs out there.
Heavily armored tank with a dead.
Yeah, I think that if you ask a kid on the street, what's your favorite dinosaur other than T-Rex, he's probably going to say a Triceratops, or more than likely, a Stegosaurus. Maybe an Ankylosaur or Ankylosaur, they would say. But a Stegosaurus, these plates, some say they're heat regulators. That's stupid. More likely a display, and also probably some type of defense. I mean, this is sharp. I can't imagine what a bony plate would be like in real life if you're an Allosaurus trying to bite down on this or something like that. Also, look at those spikes.
Weapon at the end of its tail. known as a thagomizer.
The evolutionary purpose of the signature plates continues to be debated today, but the most prominent theory suggests they were for display, either to attract mates or deter predators, or possibly as a form of temperature regulation. Fun fact about its other memorable feature, the arrangement of the Stegosaurus's tail spikes is called a thagomizer.
The wound appeared to have been made by a Stegosaurus thagomizer. The blow being so powerful it punched a hole in the bone of the allosaur's spine.
But scientists didn't invent the informal term. It was coined in the comic The Far Side by creator Gary Larson. No joke. Number 3, Deinonychus. Thanks to Jurassic Park, this dinosaur is what most people picture when they think of a velociraptor.
Clever girl.
Though the two are related, the Jurassic Park films and the novels they're based on rebranded the Deinonychus, probably because, let's face it, the name Velociraptor does sound cooler. But the real Velociraptor, as mentioned earlier, was only about the size of a turkey. Deinonychus, on the other hand, was much closer to the man-sized hunter dinosaurs with the wicked claws everyone loves to see on screen, even if studios still haven't given them anatomically accurate feathers.
Again, very large animal. You can see how that... Add another 2 inches on that. There's your sharp.
Number 2, Triceratops. Few dinosaurs have
This is worth stopping on. The Triceratops. Really, all are ceratopsian, I should say. Protoceratops, the Triceratops. 3-horned dinosaur with a gigantic frill. Some of them up to 8-10 feet. Pretty awesome. Not just that, but like there's lots of other ceratopsians. This is a cool model. There's a brand new one that was just described not too long ago called Lokiceratops, who took the name from Loki, the Norse god, with his helmet that kind of went backwards. Instead of his horns going straight out, it would have curved back and had holes in its frill, actually, like big holes. Pretty cool. Let's see what they say
the
about
attention
Triceratops.
of humans quite like this creature.
This would have fought a T-Rex.
Species of dinosaur live in forests. Triceratops.
Tanks. I mean, just absolute tanks.
Like some of our other entries, Triceratops calls to mind a more recent animal, namely the rhinoceros. Its renowned facial horns and bony neck frill, along with its beak-like mouth, give it a great deal more personality than most other dinosaurs. While closely related dinosaurs with more horns and more elaborate frills have been discovered, Triceratops remain the best known and most popular, thanks to its depiction in popular culture as an herbivorous dinosaur capable of going toe-to-toe, or rather tooth to horn, with carnivores.
Here we have one of the greatest predators nature has ever produced, and one of the greatest defenders nature has ever produced.
They had a very unique adaptation about their head. It was their neck. Their head was on the neck on a ball, so it could have like literally done this right here, which that frill could have went all the way around and caught the Tyrannosaur would have tried to bite it on the neck. Well, no, you ain't. I'll stab you, right? So it was very adapted to take care of itself.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
WatchMojo,
you have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them.
We're almost
if you're
done.
on your phone, make sure you go into your settings
have you made it
and
to
switch
the
on
end of this video?
notifications.
Of course you have.
Number 1, Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Of course.
One of the largest
Tyrannosaurus Rex, the greatest
the earth,
dinosaur
but not the
ever.
Biggest, as we've already seen. The T-Rex
Definitely
was,
the
as its name
biggest.
proclaims, the king of its day.
Tyrannosaurus Rex. An animal.
Few things. The largest dinosaur the world has ever known. He said that about Giganotosaurus or Giganotosaurus. It actually is about the T-Rex. This animal is really cool. This is a pretty cool skull. We know that if you didn't move, you would have absolutely been eaten. His vision was not. His vision was that of probably a hawk. Like literally, one of the first animals, if not the first one, with binocular vision. So instead of his eyes, let's use Parasaurolophus here since she hadn't got any love in this video. Sorry, girl. Her eyes are on each side of the head, so it could only see from the side. His eyes were in the front of his head, so he could see straight down everything. Smell you from probably a couple of miles away. If he had scent of you, there's nothing you can do. Kind of like a polar bear today, there's just nothing you're going to do. What are they going to say about the king tyrant lizard?
Some theorists have tried to dethrone it, claiming it was more scavenger than hunter.
I mean,
but the recent discovery of a T-Rex tooth embedded in the fossilized
if you came upon a dead turtle on the beach and y'all were hungry,
predator. Either way, its intimidating size, savagely powerful bite, and those absurdly small forelimbs have cemented it in pop culture as the coolest dinosaur of them all.
T-Rex has the most powerful jaws in nature.
40,000 psi bite force.
And can bite with the force of over 5 tons.
What was your favorite dinosaur growing up? Let us know in the comments.
Can I touch it?
Sure. What was your favorite dinosaur growing up? Let me ask you a very important question right now. As an adult, no one's asked me lately, what is your favorite dinosaur now as an adult? Mine still remains Rexy, Parasaurolophus, and a couple of others. I mean, I think the Dilophosaurus is just cool as crap. Even without the neck frill and the spitting, it's dope. Stegosaurus, come on, son. Dinosaurs are freaking cool, man. One more time for the model. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. Leave a like, a comment. I really do want to know what's your favorite animal right now, or dinosaur right now. What is it? It can be a T-Rex, because that is the correct answer. God bless you. Thank you so much for joining me. Till next time.